Okay, let's go. I am currently sitting in my hotel room because I am performing this weekend, but I really do want to make this video. So, if you're looking at the title, you're probably thinking, I'm gonna be in the streets being like, yeah, I'm 27 and I'm still a virgin. And what I'm saying, okay, but I'm 27 and I'm still a virgin, and no, this is not what this video is gonna be like. What I just said for my English people, I said that you're probably thinking this is gonna be like, yeah, you must just trust the Lord. No, that is not what this video is about. Yes, the Here sal steeds my herder. Yes, the Lord is still my shepherd, still praising him, my man. But that's not what this video is about. Okay, so everything that I say in this video really truly is from my own experience. I'm speaking from struggles that I have had and still have, and I'm also speaking of things that have been good to and that has helped me on this journey to be 27 and still be a virgin. And I'm also just sharing from what I've liked on my journey and what that's what I would look like if I were bold. But I'm sharing from what I like on my journey and what I have not liked. And so that's what's up. So I just want to put that out there. I'm actually being 27. I'm going to say this in Afrikaans only. I will translate in subtitles. I am 27. My liggaam het alreeds 'n kind gevorm, okay? En my ovaries is alreeds besig om te chill op die speelgronde. Okay, so if you're not getting what I'm saying, let me put it in layman's terms. My liggaam is gereed vir die saak. Okay? Very ready. Okay, let's not even sugarcoat it. Let's put it out there. Because it's normal. En dan kom ek sommer by hoe ek groot gemaak is en as a Christian woman, how I am raised is like, or how I was raised was very, and also being Pinkster, kom ek sê dit gestrek, because I feel like there are Christian people that's raised differently, I believe. It's giving more of a vibe like this. There are Christian women that's raised differently, I do believe. The way that I was raised was so like, sex vir huwelik is verkeerd. Sex before marriage, fornication is just wrong. But they don't even call it fornication really, but they say sex before marriage is wrong, you've got to wait, right? So there's that fear. Then also being a PK, and then also being just who I am, it feels like if I were to fornicate, boom, die lig gaan val, like, even just that one time, boom, I'm gonna be pregnant. You know, like, that's regtig net tyd tipe gedagte, jy weet. So the way that I was raised was 100%, sy moet vry in die bornel, mense promote must die, you know, vry in die bornel, fry in the barnel, you know, but then also no sex. Okay, nou, wat? Ek wil nie goed in Afrikaans sê, man. Wat gebeur wanneer jy met iemand vry? Kan iemand gou vir my die gou net explain? Gaan iemand vir my in die comment section sê, wat gebeur wanneer jy met iemand vry? Sy voel mos en sy doen die dinge. Dankie. Ons gaan nou praat. So daai goed ignite sekere gevoelens in 'n persoon. En moenie eers laat ek begin praat oor as jy met iemand vry wat jy van hou nie. O, liewe souls. As die physical chemistry daar is, kom ons begin gou eers daar van om physical chemistry te hê met iemand en om aan die ander kant eintlik van die persoon te hou en die karakter is nice en al daai goed. Dis twee verskillende goeders. So let's just balance that. Let's balance in here. Maar if you like someone and you kiss someone, it's so different because it's a different kind of attachment that you have. And then in the same vein, just kissing someone, there is an attachment. Ek het net gekyk op my tandeskole is en I had a burger. Dit goed gebeur, like you cannot possibly kiss someone and nothing happens in your body, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, trauma and stuff like that can contribute to you not feeling something. So that's a different conversation. I'm talking about the general sense. If you are kissing someone, there are feelings that are ignited, that's dinge. En dan as a, okay. So I'm going to tell the story. Okay, so I had my first kiss when I was 18. Okay, that was in the summer of 96. No, that's the year I was born. But it was in the summer, soos my matriekvakansie, in my grade 12 matriek holiday. Literally that December, I had my first kiss. It was great. I don't have regret. I don't have regrets about how my first kiss happened. Like, Like, just the experience. It was a good experience. The guy I had my first kiss with really treated me well. Like, he treated me with respect in that setup. And that is what I absolutely valued. Which brings me to my other experiences. Okay, so I kissed like 3 guys. I'm laying it out, eh? I kissed like 3 guys. That was before, like, say up until 2020, I kissed like 3 guys. So that's from the span of 2014 until 2020. I kissed 3 guys. Okay. Anyway, okay. And so in that experience, I had good experiences and I also had bad experiences. So I had the ones that were like, oh my word, I know this guy cares about me. I had that. And then I also had the experiences where the guy knew more about my body than what I knew about it myself. So I didn't have biology at school until like grade 9, and when I did in grade 9, I just had like 40%, or I just made it through. You know what I mean? 50% because at Kiro 40 was not a pass, but I just remember this one test where I only had like 44 out of 100, and I was like, I literally looked at it and I was like, whatever. Sorry, meneer Zaran. Anyway, it wasn't, you know, and the reproduction system and stuff was later, as far as I know, or it was more in detail later on. So that is what happened in my life. And I remember just this bad experience now where this guy knew more about my body than what I knew about it myself. And for me, it was a really traumatic experience. Very traumatic, because no, the guy, and this guy was definitely in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And so that definitely contributed to me feeling like, ek was in die streets. Ek het nie eens vir julle lieg. I did not know what was up. You know what I'm saying? Like, physically, I was not in them streets. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing all of them things. You know what I'm saying? All the people do. Like, okay, ons noem het op wat het is. Ons is so klaar hier. Soos blowjobs en... Maar blowjobs en die goed wat hulle met 'n vrou doen, wat die blowjob is. Maar, you know, al die goed is going down on somebody. You know, let's speak about it for what it is. Like, en ander goed ook, handjobs en al die wonderlike dinge het ek nie van geweet nie. Okay? Honestly, I didn't. And so now, cool, I'm in the streets with this guy. Very much awareness of people do things differently in the streets. Mense, en ek gaan nie eens eindig om het te sê nie, maar just because someone is a Christian guy does not mean sex is off the table. Let me be frank. Not all Christian dudes don't want to have sex. Like, people are funka in the streets of wonkas. You know what I'm saying? So, moet nie vir Willy Wonka bel nie, want Charlie is nie in sy chocolate factory nie. Okay, so, is al wat ek sê. And, what made that experience as traumatic as it was, yes, this guy, wow, you know, wonderful, knows what he's doing. But then in the same vein, I was weak. I did not have self-respect. And honestly, if I'm saying that, I'm saying that and I'm meaning it. I had -2, -100 level of self-respect. I didn't know how to say no. And I trusted him too much. Like, as much as, yes, whatever, the guy knew what he was doing, I trusted him too much. And I was too vulnerable with a guy, number one, that I ought not to have been. And then number two, with just a guy, period. That's not the kind of vulnerability that you give anyone. Honestly, like, even in marriage, I do believe, yes, it's going to be the most vulnerable space that I'll ever be in. But even in that space, there are still boundaries. And there's still a no that counts and a yes that counts. And so, for me, that was definitely where I went wrong. And I know that there are also girls that's in those circumstances and don't know what to do to get out of it. And that is why I'm sharing these experiences. That's why I'm being open and frank about it, because I know how I have overcome with other people sharing their testimonies, the mistakes they've made and what they could learn from it, and just warning, warning people is warnings that we're giving. And it's also being like, listen, we all struggle. It's to be able to be relatable. That's also why I do this, because I missed having stuff like Better Together, or I missed YouTube as a teenager growing up and having people that speaking about their struggles, speaking about what they have learned, and so that relatability is so important. And because we live in the information age, I'm like, I'm going to use this social media platform to communicate and to share my testimony, because we've overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And so this is how I also overcome, by sharing all of these things. Okay, back to my story. So all of those things went down. Life had happened. And moral of the story is, I remember being so angry after that experience, because here is this guy, obviously that's ook advantage wat gevat was. I wasn't strong enough, but in the same vein, here is this guy who knows a lot more about his body, let's park there, than what I know about mine. Why? Because number one, I really do believe boys also explore. It's not that women don't explore, but boys as teenagers, they explore wonderful things, doing the most. Masturbation is a real thing. Ek weet hier is nou seker 'n baie open en frank gesprek, maar ek gaan dit hê. But masturbation is a real thing, let's be frank. And so guys are exploring the most, not that women don't masturbate, but guys are doing the most exploring the things, okay? Then, with that being said, as a Christian vrou, a Pinkster Christian vrou, I was not taught at all about what goes on in my body. Period. Those biological lessons that I zone out, that wasn't even everything. I don't remember watching a video. Maybe I missed that class, but I don't remember watching the pregnancy video. You know what I'm saying? That everyone thought, I don't remember what I had. And so for me, just with all of this being said, boys are like more freely, it's a more free conversation about what happens with their bodies. That is an issue that I really have about my journey. Growing up and just not knowing enough about my absolutely human experience with my body and how my body grows. And once I get my period, what happens? What happens with my body? What am I prepared for? Every month, a little egg dies because it's not being, fertilized, It's not being met with its partner. And that happened, since I was 13? So it's just that, the whole situation and all of those things, it's just real. And that is really something that I've been upset about, and that I've learned to deal with, and that I'm still dealing with. Honestly, I'm still dealing with the discomfort of these changes in my body. Recently, just processing where I'm at in terms of my body, because there's a lot of changes happening. Being 27 and being 21 and being 13 are 3 different places in a woman's life, honestly. And the body changes, and I'm dealing with how my body is changing. Like, the way that weight is sitting on my body now is completely different to what it did when I was 16. Like, hoe 'n slap chip nou sit op my boude is baie anders. Verstaan? So I'm there. I am really struggling with coming to terms with, this is my body. This is how God has created me. He created me to procreate, nee? Okay, great, maak jou kinders. But he also created me to enjoy the act of making it within marriage, within the covenant, but he also created me to enjoy that. And so, hy het sekere triggers in my liggaam gesit vir my om die ultimate level van pleasure te kan ervaar. Period. So, it's just coming to terms with, oh my word, as so baie shame wat kom met hierdie ervarings wat 'n mens het, en met hierdie gevoelens wat 'n mens het, en mense kan jou so sleg laat voel. Ouens kan jou so sleg laat voel. Oh my goodness. Like, they can cause you to feel so bad about yourself, but then you also know that it's not the right guy. If a guy is making you feel bad about yourself, especially in an intimate setup, those things are traumatizing, guys. Just hear me out. It's traumatizing. Be careful how you treat a girl, even when she's 13, especially when she's 13. Be careful about how you treat a girl in an intimate setup, honestly, because it will stick with her. And a girl's first experiences of anything, but a woman's first experience of sex, a woman's first experience of a kiss, a woman's first experience of an ass grab, let's be frank, all of those things contribute to how they view those acts in the future. So it's a matter of what is the kind of guy that you want to be, but we're not going to go there, are we? Okay, I'm still coming to terms with it. As a 27-year-old woman, I am still coming to terms with what my body is naturally inclined to, and how to steward that. Being a Christian, yes, I've gone through all of the things, but I still believe that God will help me with this. And that is with me on this journey too. Die Here gee ook om oor hierdie pad wat ek stap, because he's walking it with me, and he wants to heal me here too, you know. And so for me, even though I'm like, yeah, you know, Jesus with me, must say, yo, dis moeilik, you know, and he knows and he wants to help me in my weaknesses. The Lord wants to strengthen me in my weaknesses, and you too, but the Lord wants to strengthen my weakness. And so it's just journeying with us. Maar die hele pad van here where I'm scared. I'm scared of what my body is able to do. You know, I'm scared of these feelings because, number one, you can't always control it. You know, you honestly also can't control it. And so that's a pad wat mense stap op zichzelf. Like, not being able to control it, being someone that's unlearned and is continuing complete. I will probably unlearn this for the rest of my life, but unlearning to want to have control over everything, you know. And so we only want to have control over something because we fear what it can do to us, right? And we fear the pain or the negative effect and impact it can have over us, and so we want to control it. And so net met hierdie hele controlling situation, certain feelings and certain reactions our body has, we cannot control. And so for me, it's learning that is my reality, and then also that I can love myself even in that, you know, that this is something that I cannot control, yet I always have a choice how I will respond, how will I react to these feelings, what are the acts that I'm gonna do, because I can choose. I have the options, I have the 3 options. So taking it back to being the virgin, right, and the struggle that comes with it, and the journey of being here, I have one of 3 options. There's probably more, but let's go with 3. So number 1, now that my body is very, very ready, en mense sê, maar gaan sy kinders kry, hulle gaan so raak oud. Nee, so now that I'm ready to have kids, I have the option. Either I can vat enige Jan trap and I can get married with the first guy that comes along, because everyone het kinders en klaar kry. Okay? Nee, or I can decide I don't want to wait anymore and I'm gonna have sex. Or I can wait and trust that God will provide exactly the husband, exactly the kind of man, the godly man, the wise man. I'm saying Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but they weren't the wise man. But they was wise. So I could wait for that man that God has in store for me. The one that is the full package. And the full package does not mean he's perfect, but the full package means that it's God's timing, and that I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to make a choice that fits, not a choice that I want to make fit. You know, and so I have those options, and I really do have these options, because it's not a matter of I have no other choice. I have multiple choices. 'n Meisie, julle 'n vroumense het die krag om 'n man ook swak te maak, hoor. And I think the power lies in knowing your power, but knowing how to use it. And it's in knowing not to abuse it. That makes the difference. Or that, you know, and so ek het baie opsies. Ek wil nou nie arrogant klink nie. But I got options. You know, the top one. Nummer 3. Hierdie een is die top one, you know. So I want to go with number 3. I'm going to go with trusting. Is dit moeilik? Ja. Okay, dit is baie. Maar wat 'n mens help is die feit dat 'n mens support structure het, my ouers, my subas, my mentors, met die kerkgemeenskap. If I have not been in COM this year, oh my goodness, I honestly don't know where I would have been. It's cell group, but this intimate group of Christian young people, mense my petiers, that wants to serve the Lord and has hearts that are turned toward the Lord. I want to make my krulletjies go. Nee? And so if I have not been there, if God has not graced me to go to COM, because there were nights like, waar het moeilijk gegaan het, nie? Weke, and not just in terms of this whole virginity situation, not just in terms of this, but just in terms of life. If I have not been there, I wouldn't know what I would do. Maar nee, that was load shedding. But just, I would not know, I would not know what or where, what kind of decisions I would have made up until this point. And so I really firmly believe that as support, this is a journey one cannot walk alone. Oh my goodness. Number one, having the Holy Spirit. Number one, having God. And God placing people in our lives to help us and support us. And then you're also reaching out to them. So that also makes a difference. And not just being in our weakness alone. And so we always have a choice. We really do. Regardless of whether we have limited choices or whether we have abundant choices, we always have a choice. For me, that's what I really learned in therapy. That's one of the things that's changed my life. It's realizing, it's coming to terms with the fact that I always have a choice. There's nothing really that I have to do. If I want to be a successful pianist, if I want to play the Bach Masonic Chaconne well, then there's a certain level of practicing that I've got to put into it. In order to achieve something, we are required to do something, right? And so in that sense, yes, if I want to do this, then I have to do that. I'm required to do that, right? But because I'm someone that struggled with the sense of obligation just in my life and just feeling like I have to do everything and I have to do this and I have to do that and otherwise this and otherwise that, it's been such an important life change for me to realize that, Vago, I have a choice. I have freedom of choice. And that's also how God has created me. He says in his word also, I've given you a choice between life and death. He gives us a suggestion of what is the better choice. So he's like, I've given you a choice, and then I'm also telling you what I think is the best choice. So I still have the choice, and I still have the choice to choose the choice that he thinks is best. So it's like, okay, cool, you're kind of giving me everything I need to make a healthy decision. And so he says, choose life. And so I'm like, I have a choice. And because of Jesus, because of the blood of the Lamb, because of the cross, I have a choice. Because he sorted me out. Because sin no longer has dominion over me. Ek kon gisteraand iets verkeerd gedoen het, nee, en gesondig het, of verkeerd in die oë van die Here, of 'n sonde gepleeg het, of wat ook al, nee. En there's grace for me, and it's not a matter of just go and sin now, just because I can. That's not what it's about. But it's a matter of, if I so sinned, then there's grace for me to say, okay, you know what, I have a choice now to do differently next time. And that's the grace that I've been seeing in my life with these decisions that I've made. Because I have not been making these kind of decisions my whole life. Oh my goodness, And I'll probably make mistakes going forward too. Definitely, I will, definitely. But God's grace is sufficient. And it's knowing that, okay, just because I make the mistake today doesn't mean I have to make it tomorrow. Yeah. I'm done. Moral of the story is, I'm 27. I'm still a virgin. I've just given you the context as to what's happened, how things have been, what's happened up until now. I gave you a bit of a snippet. But I've given you a bit of a snippet. But I'm here now. I'm still a virgin. I'm 27. And I'm choosing to trust. And this is a video that I'm going to go back to in the moments where I'm weak, right? And I'm going to be like, Karen, just listen to your own advice, number one. But also, just go back and listen to the heart behind it. Listen to the heart behind why you're making these decisions. Because, guys, the flesh is a real thing. Oh, pow, 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 pow. Maar okay, feel free to leave comments about your own experiences if you want to. Julle, ek het 'n nuwe video gemaak. Ek wil ook net sê hierdie girl se eysterpentjie is nog toe. Wat ander goed is daar? This girl's iron. This girl's iron panties are still closed, and the Holy Spirit has the keys. Hy klink nou soos Mary the Virgin, Mother of Jesus.